Hello YouTube, this is Victor. I'm a flight attendant. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, well, welcome. Every week I share with you some travel tips, how to travel in better conditions. Today is episode 2 of a series of 3 regarding turbulence. So welcome aboard, fasten your seatbelt. So I'm going to answer 3 questions that I get asked once in a while. So first, when we fly in very high altitude, is there any wind? Yes, of course there's wind. The wind is stronger than on the ground. On the ground, the wind will hurt buildings and mountains and a lot of things where in the air there's not much beside planes and clouds. So yes, if you fly in a high altitude, and usually planes will fly between 36 to 40,000 feet, you're going to get very strong wind. It can actually go up to 300 kilometers per hour. Any wind that's over 150 kilometers per hour, we call it the jet stream, and then it's actually quite useful. Airlines use it. If you fly from New York to Paris, it will always be shorter than flying from Paris to New York. Usually New York to Paris will be like 7 hours, where Paris to New York will be 8 or 9. So yes, airlines know we have this jet stream on the north of the Atlantic Ocean all year long and use it in the flight schedule, so it's completely normal, and they make the airline save money on fuel, which actually is reflected on your price of your ticket, and also it's a quicker flight time, so it's better for everyone. Another question I get asked: when we fly around mountains, why do we have more turbulence? Well, there's 2 reasons for this. The first one, when you fly close to a mountain, it's called mountain waves. That means the wind will take the shape of the mountain. So if you fly, even if you're away from the mountain, you can still feel this roller coaster feeling just because the same shape of the mountain is replicated a little bit further out. So yeah, that's normal. Also, if you've been doing any climbing and mountain climbing, you will know that in mountains it's a very high environment for storms. One big reason is because the clouds will get stuck around, they can't move away, and they'll get stuck and the storms will start. So yes, it is most likely to have turbulence if you fly around mountains, especially on low altitude. If you fly very high, usually it's quite alright, but if you're in low altitude and ready to land, you can expect usually quite a bumpy landing, but it's completely safe. We know how to fly with that. And my last question for today: can pilots avoid turbulence? They'll do as much as they can. Once they arrive at the airport, they'll get issued a flight plan, and on the flight plan they've got the weather en route for the whole flight. So they'll try to avoid bad turbulence. There's some small that we can go through, but the bad ones will be avoided. But if you're on a long flight that lasts 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, the weather condition may have changed since the time you left home, and then they will just adjust. That's why we got radars on board. So they will try to avoid them as much as they can. Some turbulence cannot be seen on the radar and will be always a little bit of a surprise, but pilots have a lot of tricks in their bags to avoid them. One of them will just to change the altitude and fly a little bit higher or lower. But that's a video of next week. I'll share how pilots can avoid turbulence the best they can. So if you haven't seen last week's video, there should be a box around here where you can see it. If you haven't subscribed, you want to see my other videos, well, there's quite a few for you to enjoy. They just click on my face here, and then you'll be able to enjoy them. And in the meantime, I'll see you next week. Bye.